This car right here has 200,000 miles on it, and I drive it every single day. I do not baby this car. And people always ask me, like, bro, how much is it costing you to keep this car running? When are you gonna get rid of it? And my answer is always the same. And honestly, it's probably not what you think. So guys, welcome to Zigiwik, where we do these videos talking about cars, a little bit of money, but mainly just the cars, man. Let's get right into it. And here's the thing. There's this assumption that a lot of people have that old cars, especially cars with a lot of miles on it, cost a lot of money. And I'm here to tell y'all that is not the direct correlation. It does not go hand in hand. You know, constant repairs, constant shop visits, all of that. And I understand where this mindset comes from, because logically, more miles should mean more wear on your car, right? Like, that makes sense, but that's not the whole picture when it comes to cars. Because the difference between a car that bleeds you dry of money and a car that just keeps you going isn't really about the miles. It's about what you do to it and what you don't. So I'm gonna walk you through the stuff I actually do to keep my car running stress-free. None of the textbook stuff. I'm gonna go through my actual routine every year, how much I spend on average, because I don't have it written down, and what I do myself and what do I pay somebody else to do. So let's get right into the numbers. And the first thing is oil changes. And look, I feel like I say this in every single video I make: change your oil, change your oil, change your oil. But that is the main thing to keep a car running. Every 4,000 miles or every like 4 or 5 months, I think, change your oil. I drive a lot, so I'm always hitting that 4,000 miles, and it costs basically nothing. This car takes 5W30, I believe. The filter costs like 10 bucks or something like that. Grab it from Walmart. I'm probably spending like $35 to $40 every time I do oil change. That's how much it comes to, like 35 bucks. And you just knock it out in like a couple minutes. I knock out my oil changes in like 30 minutes nowadays, because I've been doing it for so long. I've gotten so used to it. I know shops around me that's charging like 50, 60. I mean, that's not really crazy. You know, $40 for the material, which they probably get a lot cheaper, plus labor. You know, it is going to be around that price. But I'm telling you, man, find your rhythm and just get into it, because you need to get your oil changed. That's one of the most important things of owning a car. And it's not hard. Like, I want to be clear about this. I'm not a certified mechanic. I do work on my car a lot, but I didn't go to school for this. I literally just watch YouTube videos. You grab a drain pan from AutoZone or O'Reilly's that costs like 8 bucks. You go into the car, loosen up the bolt, drain the oil, change the filter, put the bolt and the filter back on, and fill it back up. If you want to get into working on your car, I feel like changing your oil is always the rite of passage. Like, that's literally the first thing you do. And on to the next thing, because a lot of people miss this, and we're gonna talk about your filters. When is the last time that you watching this video change your cabin air filter? Drop in the comments below and let me see how long it's taking y'all, because these are things that, I mean, you might as well keep. It's so cheap. Why would you not keep up with it? You know, your cabin air filter, it filters the air that's coming into your cabin. So why would you want a dirty filter to be filtering the air that you're breathing? And your intake filter, go ahead and look at that too. I remember when I first bought my Civic, and I remember I opened the box for the first time, and it was just a bunch of dust and like tree leaf particles, all that stuff. Keep them filters clean, man. The cleaner your air filter is for your engine, the easier it is for your engine to get air. There's no cons to change your filters, so why would you not do it? It only takes like 5 minutes. You pop out the clips. The filter on Amazon costs like 10 bucks, 12 bucks. It's so cheap. It's like a no-brainer. Like, I'm not telling you to never go to a shop. You know, if you don't want to do this yourself, when you go to the shop for your oil change, tell them to change your filters. But I'm saying, if you are somebody that doesn't have your guy locked in for your mechanic, and you just want to do something in your car real quick, change your filters and change your oil. These are such beginner-friendly things to do in your car. And the next thing we're going to talk about is brakes. And yes, I do my brakes also. I basically do everything, man. But brakes, you got to get your brakes done. You have to take care of your brakes, because your brakes, I mean, other than your tires, the brakes are the only thing stopping you. You know, when you come into that stoplight, you press your brakes, and every single time you hope it works. And I guess after you drive so much, you kind of forget how important your brakes are, because you use it every single day. It's like you don't think about it, it just works. But brakes fail, guys. You know, we all think it might not happen to us. It could happen to you if you don't maintain your brakes. You have to maintain your brakes. If you press on your brakes and you hear a little screeching sound, that means your pads are probably done and you got to change them. So when you're doing your routine maintenance, whether you bring it to the shop or you do it yourself, make sure you have all these things checked. You got to get a list, because not every time things need to be changed or, you know what I mean, service. Not every time you need to change your oil if you ain't reached there yet, but maybe you need to change your brakes. So get into a rhythm every couple months. Go ahead and check over all these things and you will be good. Obviously the brakes is something that you want to be a little bit more comfortable working on your car. You got to take off the wheel, jack it up, all that stuff. So that's why I say you get comfortable changing your oil. You're already used to being under the car, and then you go ahead and do your brake change. Come on, I'm giving y'all game right now. And now that I already talked about the oil, the filters, and the brakes, I'm gonna tell y'all what I actually bring my car to the shop for, as somebody that does all my own work. For things that are extreme, or I just don't feel like doing it because of, you know, like for example, something I didn't feel like doing was my front engine mount. It's a weird location. You gotta take off the radiator, all this stuff. I'd rather just pay somebody to get it done. They charged me $100 for it. I feel like that was reasonable. It was hot outside. I didn't feel like doing it. I already had the back and the side one changed, so I just had to change the front. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just go ahead and get this changed. So I brought it to the shop. And other than that, I did bring it to the shop to get the clutch changed. And for anybody that knows about cars, it's kind of hard, especially on my car. You got to drop the subframe. That's too much for me. That's above my pay grade. Maybe if I had a garage and I had the time to do it, I would. But currently, whenever I have to do work on my car, I go to my brother's crib. And yeah, that was just too big of a job. That's like a whole week's worth of work for me. You know, if you're somebody that wants to get into working on your own car, start with the small stuff, but outsource things that will put your car out of service for a long time. Something that you can't risk. Like I can't risk figuring out how to change my clutch at my brother's crib over the weekend. I need my car to go to work. I'd rather bring it to a shop. They know what they're doing. They charge me a reasonable price. They got it done in like 2 days and I got my car back. You know, that's how I operate. And the more I learn, the less I have to depend on the shop. Like if I think back to when I just got my car and I just started working on my car, I'll change my oil, but most other stuff I just bring it to a shop because I didn't really know. I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the knowledge, but over time you gain all these things. Over time you do a job, you have to buy a new tool for it, and then you just keep that tool. And then a couple months later, you're doing another job and you need that tool for that job also. And it's like, it just keeps building and building and building up. So the key is to know which category the job falls into. What can you do yourself? What do you want to try to do yourself? Or what are you just gonna bring to a shop? Because although it might cost you more, it's gonna be way easier to do it that way than figuring out yourself. You just bring it to a shop and forget about it. And now that I spoke about that, we gotta get to the most important part, because I saved it for now because I know a lot of people forget about this. Like I spoke about the obvious, I spoke about your oil change, I spoke about the cabin air filter, but believe it or not, a lot of people think that transmission fluids are lifetime. Like a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say they never touch their transmission fluid, and that is crazy, bro. It's just like your oil, it lasts a little longer. But if you check your transmission fluid, right, if you have a car with a transmission dipstick, I know my Honda Civic did, transmission fluid is red. It has like a little red tint to it when it's clean. And I remember I checked my transmission fluid in my Civic and it was dirty black. But that was already when the car was at 100,000 miles. So at that point, I left it alone because I ain't know somebody before me changed it. I didn't want to deal with that hassle of changing it. And then my transmission just grenades itself. But if you have a car that had regular maintenance history, you bought a used car, it has regular maintenance history, and you've seen that this person has kept up with their transmission fluid changes, don't fall off, man. Because once you fall off and your transmission fluid hasn't been changed enough, then it's like you're cooked. You might as well just leave it alone, because once you change old transmission fluid, it's just gonna mess up your transmission, bro. Like a lot of people say just leave it alone. But that's why a lot of people need to get out of this habit, because you can't just be having a car and not changing it. So you see what I'm saying? If you have a car right now and you're watching it, you got low miles, keep up with transmission fluid changes, because it's gonna get to a point where you can't no more. So take advantage of where you are right now. Your brake fluid, you gotta change this. If you check under your hood and the brake reservoir thing is black, you gotta change your brake fluid, man. These are important things. A lot of people neglect this. A lot of people do their oil changes, they make sure their brake's good, but what about the brake fluid? Your brake fluid is gonna help you. Once that fluid gets too hot and your pedal gets spongy, that's it. You don't have no brakes. So these are things that you need to stay on top of. Your power steering fluid, just make sure all your fluids are good. I just recently changed my radiator, so I had to change my coolant. But look in the coolant reservoir. Is it mucky or something? If it's mucky or something, you gotta change it. Literally, if any fluid looks like, damn, I need to change this fluid, then you probably need to change that fluid. That's like, I feel like that's the easiest way to go about it. Like a lot of people will say, like, how do you know? Look in it and just look at it. Like, does this look like good fluid? or does it look just dirty and mucky? And if it looks dirty and mucky, then you gotta get that change. And what's the annual average number that I spend every year on my car? And honestly, it's not that much. I just been doing oil changes. I do some maintenance here and there, but I say on average, I spend like probably $600. All the oil changes, plus like I just did brakes recently. I just changed my lower ball joints. I'd say like money and time wise, everything combined, I feel like about like 600 is what I averagely spend on my car every year, fixing it up, keeping it running. And I feel like that's not that much. Some years it's cheaper, some years it's more expensive. And this is mainly because I do all my own work. It does help out financially. If I brought it to a shop, obviously it would cost a little bit more because you have to pay for shop labor. You know, these shops, sometimes it'd be expensive, I ain't gonna lie, but it's a business, man, and they gotta run it. They gotta pay for bills, rent, all this stuff. So sometimes it's expensive, but it's like, yo, they gotta charge what they're charging to stay afloat. A car is not based off its mileage, it's based off what's done to it. You know, a lot of people think that high mileage cars are just gonna blow up at 200,000 miles. Like I've had people, friends ask me when I was going to Indiana, like, yo, you gonna drive your car to Indiana? Like it got a lot of miles, but bro, miles don't matter, especially on an older Honda like this. It'll last forever if you give it what it needs. But what happens is a lot of people don't give the cars what they need. So then when you buy a used car that wasn't taking care of majority of its life, obviously it's gonna break down on you. You're gonna have a bunch of problems. So when you're buying a car, this is why I tell y'all, you gotta make sure you buy good. Because if you buy a bad car and you have a bad experience, it's gonna be horrible. You gotta look for these good cars that are properly maintained. And if you find a car that's properly maintained, or you have one and you're maintaining it properly, it'll last you. That's really how it works. Then that's gonna be it. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. You already know I appreciate every single one of y'all. If y'all made it this far, I got a little surprise after this clip, but I'm ending out this video and throwing this up at the end. So I love y'all. Make sure y'all take care of y'all car, buy TSX and travel, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, guys. Peace. Put it together. There we go. Buddy. There we go. All right, camera off the dog. As y'all can see right here, we have greatness. Old oof.
Yeah. Josh won't get you your own camera.
Yeah, Abby can't control that damn dog. Come on, man.
He just wants some love.
Yeah, he just wants to be involved. See how rusty this is? Eee, yuck. Bro, don't jump on me. You can't have the damn rusty bowl. This is the problem. Abby not feeding the damn dog and he trying to eat everything.
He only does this with you. He knows what it's like.
All right. We got these shiny things, but we can't have that nonsense on the car. Not at all. Get a little right real. I haven't seen the car without a license plate for so long. Low-key weird. Man, you know, in the beginning, Zigiwik was just a joke. Now it's the real deal. It's the real deal. Ain't no joke no more. Let me see those. The only thing that sucks is that the plates came low-key bent. See it right there? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put the one with the least amount of bent. Put this one. I think it's probably bent in the mail. I'm gonna notice it. It's going on, lads. It's going on. Zigiwik is official. Oh my days. Started as a joke. Now it's a movement, man. I learned so much with this channel. If y'all ever want to make a channel and you're watching this, you just gotta go for it, bro. Social media is literally for the taking. Now it's official, boy. Zigiwik is crazy. Oh my gosh. With Cody in the background in the pic. Dude. This is tough. It's tough, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what's next, but Zigiwik to the moon. Let me think. This is like those moments where I gotta give some words of inspiration to people. Yeah, chase your dreams, get custom plates, and now we're gonna go to ice cream to celebrate this magnificent day of Zigiwik. And we gonna put the front plate on off camera. Front plate gonna go on off camera. We don't waste y'all time doing that, man. Cody's gone. See, as soon as shit not serious no more, he disappeared. He just be trying to mess with us. Look at him back there. He's a little grumpy old man. A grumpy, hungry old man.